Oh, I'm over here. Hey, welcome to a small mini episode of Doctor Who Rebrief. I'm here all by my lonesome today. Sympathy R's, please. Aww. Thank you. Yep, I don't have any guest presenters with me to talk about the serial I'm talking about today, mainly because it's not a whole serial. We don't have all of the episodes, so I thought, let's just do a quick episode. I don't want to miss it out, but of the sequence, but there's 2 episodes missing out of the 4, so can't really do a proper full rebrief thing on it. What are we talking about? We're of course talking about the Crusades. Or the Crusade. The Crusade, no S. There's no S. You can find the 2 episodes that do exist on this DVD, Lost in Time. You can also find on there some linking narration of Ian Chessington. Recorded in character. It's not even narration. They filmed things for it. Of him in character as an old man, which they filmed, I think, sometime in the 90s, maybe, when they were releasing the VHS, of him explaining what happens in the episodes that we don't see.
That's when I became Sir Ian, Knight of Jaffa.
Which is a nice little touch, I thought. And you've also got the audio of the other 2 episodes. So the complete episodes are episodes 1 and 3. And we've got the audio of 2 and 4, and also Ian's narration, not linking footage of him explaining in his library, or wherever he is. We've got episode 1, which is good, because we got the introduction to it, and we got to see... I think if we'd had episode 1 as just audio, it would have been harder to get a grasp of what was going on. So it's really good that we've got the full episode 1. And it's very Shakespearean, isn't it? In the delivery of the actors in the Crusades, they deliver their dialogue in very Shakespearean, very wordy ways.
I wish that I were a hawk, sire, and Saladin my prey.
Now there's a subject for our troubadours and actors. Speak to the Chamberlain about it, I beg you, Demerara.
I will, my lord. I will have the players call the entertainment The Defeat of Saladin, the Sparrow of the East.
Overly wordy, some might say. But it's also Shakespearean in scope and in scale and in the type of story it is. It's got a very Shakespearean feel to it. And I think I'm not the first to say this. I think lots of people have said this. I think I need to shut the curtain. It's very bright on the side of my face. 1 minute, please. I think that's a bit better, isn't it? Brighter all over, but not glaring. Good. Let's continue. What was I saying? Shakespearean, that's it. It was very Shakespearean. And in fact, I think they knew this when they were writing it, and even Barbara references Shakespeare at one point. So I think it was a conscious thing that they were trying to make this very Shakespearean. And I think it works. I think it makes it very epic, from what I could tell. Now, the wordiness of it does take a little bit of getting used to, but much like watching any Shakespeare on stage, you know, you don't think about it after the first sort of 10 minutes. It just kind of, it strikes you to start with, and then you go, oh, hold on, I need to listen, and then you just get used to it. So it didn't matter too much. My high points of the bits I did see were the fighting choreography. I thought that was really good, actually, and hasn't been that good since the very first serial, The Cavemen, and I mentioned in our debrief way back then of that one that the fight choreography of the fight between the cavemen was very, very fast-paced and lots of cuts, and much more like we would expect nowadays fight scenes to be. Often in these old Doctor Who's, they're very laborious, the fight scenes. There's lots of, like, slowly swinging. It just looks really, really cheesy. But this, they did it well here. Whoever did the fight choreography on this, whoever directed this episode, did it really well. So props to them. It was fast-paced, it was exciting and tense. The set was also really good. I'm presuming it was recorded in a studio, but you couldn't tell. A lot of these studio-based sets, you can tell they're on a studio, especially the space set ones, but even some of the ones where they've had forestry before, you can kind of see the painted backdrops to create more forest, whereas this one, it looked like a dense forest. It was really realistic, so good on them for that as well. That was really good. And the third thing I want to mention in highlights was Julian Glover, who played Richard the Lionheart in this. If that name sounds familiar, he's quite a famous actor, and he's been in things such as one of the Indiana Jones movies. He was the bad guy in one of the Indiana Jones movies, and much more recently, he was in Game of Thrones. He's a high-quality actor, and he was fantastic in this, giving his full Shakespearean chops to the Richard the Lionheart role, especially in the scene that he had where he was having a full-blown argument with his character's sister.
You defy me with the Pope!
No, you defy the world with your politics!
That was powerful and dynamic, and it was really good and really gripping. On the low light side of things, I mean, you can't get a good gist really from 2 episodes out of 4. But on very early on, there's a point where Barbara gets kidnapped. Ian is distracted fighting someone. Barbara gets kidnapped, like, right behind him, and it takes him, he defeats his bad guy and Saracen person, and then it takes him a good, several minutes to realise Barbara's disappeared. I mean, come on, Ian. What are you playing at? Overall, I think this is probably a really good historical. Before I started on this trek through old Who, I was doubtful about the historicals, but actually most of them have been really good. The Aztecs was brilliant. I really quite liked the Romans, and this, of what I've seen of it, has good potential, and I think probably, based on these 2 episodes that I have seen, the rest of it, if it's the same quality, is just as good. I did listen to the audio, but it's very hard to get a gist from the audio of the episodes. There's lots of bits where there's just grunting noises and you don't know what the hell's going on, but because they're fighting or something. But based on these 2 episodes, I think it's probably good. I really hope they find the missing 2 episodes. I mean, I hope they find all old Who episodes, but especially these 2 I would like to see. Or maybe they could animate them. They've got the audio, why not? They've done it with others. Come on, guys. Animate it. Anyway, thank you for watching this mini episode of Doctor Who Rebrief. Hopefully we'll be moving on to, I think it's the Space Museum next. So look out for that episode when it's out on my channel. Please do subscribe, share this if you're a Doctor Who fan and you want to share it, I guess, and all that sort of jazz. Thank you for watching, and I will hopefully see you soon in more videos. And I'll have someone with me next time, hopefully. Goodbye.